Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Why did I just ask that? That's weird. Welcome
How
to
are you doing,
Breakroom
Hunter?
Banter. I hear stylist Jason. God bless.
We are having a hard time today.
All right, we're going to restart this. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome back to another episode of Breakroom Banter.
It's a hairstylist adjacent podcast where each week,
two friends
who also happen to be hairstylists,
break down our weeks in the
break
break room.
room.
I'm your host, Hunter Walden.
And I'm your co-host, Ericka the Weird. Call back to the episode you're not going to see.
You'll see a clip of it, maybe. Well, we're going to start with our peaks and our pits.
Yes, we are.
We are. Wow, this episode has been a journey, people.
It's been a journey. We got 15 minutes into recording it and realized we aren't actually recording it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So we had a practice run.
Practice run is complete. So I will tell you what my peak was.
Yes.
My peak was the excellent time I had while having my feet in this certain foot massager.
Okay.
I went to my friend's house for Thanksgiving, and she has this wonderful, like, fascia blaster foot massager.
Is it that same brand
It's
that
she's same brand.
obsessed with?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's really hard to describe. It's like all these little, like, smaller than this maybe, things that come up and they, like, go in waves.
Oh.
Like on the bottom, right?
Right.
And then the top has, like, pressure and heat.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
Are they like it's like a machine
it's like
and
you
like slide
slip your
in?
feet into it. Almost looks kind of, like a foot bath. Like when she told me foot massager, I was thinking like the ones that like squeeze your legs and stuff too, which I was like all about. It was not that, but I was A-okay with that. So you like put your feet in it, and then like I said, the little things are like little pressure poking into your feet, right?
Yeah.
And so she was like, I like it all the way up and all the way up. So I did that, and then I was like sitting there, and it hurts.
So good.
But yes, it hurts so good that like you're sitting there and you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. Oh, that feels better. Okay. Oh, like it hurts. Like you can't really get a break, but you know it's doing something good for your aching feet, right?
Were you like feeling like a whole new person? I
literally was like sitting there in the recliner, like, like call back to our TENS machine, but like weirder faces. Like,
dang.
I just was like, I can't close my mouth. Like,
could you imagine if you did that on your feet and then wrapped that little electrode thing around your legs at the same time?
Dude, it was intense. It was intense. I had to turn it down for a while. I was like, I love this, but not this hard. I can't do it anymore.
I can't take it.
Yeah. Oh man, it was good. That was nice.
Yeah.
She goes, this is going to be your peak. I was like, hell yeah, it is.
And look at that. There it is.
And look at that. There it is. And then pit. Again, my pit is that I'm having trouble with my apartment complex right now. I'm not going to get into it, but it's pissing me off. And
right.
Woosah.
Woosah.
That's it. Moving on, Hunter, your turn.
Moving on. Well, my peak is getting my hair done because I literally got it cut and I got it colored all in the same day. And that never happens.
Looking good. Right?
Hair by Shell.
Shell Ya Hair.
Shell Ya Hair. There it is.
On IG.
And my pit is that my scalp is just so sensitive.
Yeah.
And so, like,
I literally almost murdered Hunter with water yesterday, shampooing his hair.
And I don't know, like, when it started, because I don't feel like I've always been this sensitive. But I do a bleach and tone, like, so. And I've done this for many years. So it could have been like an accumulation of
It might be time to just go natural for a little while, Hunter. Give that scalp a break. I'm sorry, did I just personally offend you?
That is my pit. I think you need to go.
Sorry, this podcast is no longer a thing.
Gotta go.
It's
Bye.
over.
Canceled.
I'm not relevant enough to be canceled, Hunter. Sorry
about your luck, buddy.
I'm uncancelable.
Period.
Anyway,
what we are talking about today
is
a listener submitted topic.
Yes, it is.
So
which we love, by the way.
Yes.
Feel free to do that whenever you want.
Unsolicited ideas. Send them in our DMs on Instagram.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is a listener submitted topic, and it's about letting go of your clients. Like when they're ready to move, whether they're moving in town or out of state. And then also if we're moving in town or out of state, like what is that going to look like? So just really moving in general, but letting go is what we're going to call it.
Yeah, letting go.
So go ahead and start us off.
Okay, so we'll start here. When your clients move, do you give out formulas?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, what am I going to do? Whether they're in town or not, like, that stylist, even if they're using the same formula as me, it's not going to look exactly the same. Like, it's their work and my work, and maybe their work looks better for that person, you know? So I'm not stingy.
You're not stingy?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I remember working in a bigger salon, and, like, there were stylists that had problems with the salon wanting you to put your color formulas in the computer. Like, they were like, I don't want to give away my secret formulas. And I'm like, girl, it's not that special. You just use 1 tube of color on her. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe that's just a mindset issue.
Yeah, you know, like someone's gonna steal them away or something like that. That's not really the case.
I get it. Damn me, I get it to a certain extent because, like, yeah, that's like your, what do they call that? Intellectual property,
proprietary information.
To a certain extent, you know. But at the same time, if someone's moving, we're gonna be like, nope, you can never have my color formula unless, like, why wouldn't?
Well, I've seen, like, on those hairdresser gossip pages, like, people will say, oh, I don't give out formulas. So what do you
I don't like hairdresser gossip pages.
I'm curious. I don't like hairdresser gossip pages for the gossip. I mean, I like to read the gossip, but I hope that I'm never in the gossip.
I don't like the vibe of it anymore. It just bothers me, but.
Oh. Well, they talk a lot about clients, like, talk bad about clients and stuff.
Well, that, and I just feel like there's so much, like, hateration, but maybe that's just the internet.
It is just the internet.
Yeah.
I just look past it.
Yeah. I like funny stuff, not mean stuff.
I always look on there for, like, advice.
That, yes.
Like, you can go and, like, Google, like, at the top, you can search a specific topic.
Yeah.
I actually use it on the brand that we use has, like, a little Facebook page, and I'll go and type in that.
That's a little different, though, than some of those ones that are just like,
oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, I've read on there where, like, people are asking for advice on, oh, my client's moving, or my client wants to find a new hairstylist in town.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Would you give your formula away?
Yeah.
And I would say, yeah, I would.
I mean, if this client was like a jerk and was like trying to be like, that's it, I'm moving and I'm going somewhere else, I'm not going to give you the formula. You can kiss my booty. But if you're like...
I feel like if they're at that point, they're not going to be ballsy enough to ask for their formula.
I mean, you would be surprised.
Have you had someone ask for their formula after being ballsy like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Dang.
Yes. No, you need to give me my formula. You need to go somewhere with that attitude, honey.
That ain't going to happen around here.
That ain't going to happen. But if you are my client and I love you and you are moving out of town or, you know what I mean, like across town to where, like, it just isn't going to work anymore, like, yeah, I have no qualms giving out my formula either. And I wouldn't do it if they were a jerk. You know,
right.
Being a jerk to me. But I mean...
Yeah. You're like, I also don't
have people like that in my chair usually, so.
Right. I feel like I don't ever have anyone hateful in my chair.
No, totally. So let's say we've established you're going to send the formula.
Right.
So how descriptive are you going to get in that formula?
Honestly, I would, if they're like a tricky client, I would give like some details, like, oh, the foil always slips here, or there's always a bleeder in the back because their head is a little more round, or stuff like that. I have actually sent a full note file to someone because it was a client that I really, really liked. And it wasn't even, it was like she was only doing her hair one time because she couldn't get back to me because she had moved.
Yeah.
But she had moved not so far away that like it's not feasible for her to drive back.
It just wasn't going to be working out in that time frame.
Yeah. So I sent the whole notes file down to like the kind of alcohol that she likes.
Right.
And,
I love it.
Yeah, because like why not?
Yeah.
Like her wedding date and like silly little things like that. But honestly, it can be really annoying, like when someone sends way too descriptive of a like formula sectioning.
I mean, yes, I get what you're saying, because you're talking about like that one situation where the hairdresser sent you like tutorials and
like videos
and like that's kind of okay.
Right.
You know, but like if you're saying a full file like that, you can clearly tell it's someone's color history.
Right.
I would appreciate that as a stylist. I'd be like, dang, not only do I know what you've been like using for the last few months, I know the last few years, you know, and I have some conversation points with this client now because I know a couple things about her going in, you know?
Well, and I'm more so talking about like just the overkill of information as far as like step-by-step instructions on how they highlight their hair.
Yeah.
I'm going to highlight your hair
how I'm going to highlight your hair. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. Like, I use this sectioning and you're going to want to pull this at a 45-degree angle and blah, blah, blah. Like, if it's a tricky point here and there, cool. Like, make me aware and let me know. But, like, I went to beauty school. Thank you.
Yes. Like, I have a patch in the front of my head that's always orange.
Yes.
No matter what, it's always orange. And that is something that I would like to know. Start in the front.
Right?
Because it's going to be orange.
Totally.
But that's enough. I don't need, like, start in the front and then go to the back and then do the sides. Just tell me to start in the front. That's cool.
Right? So,
that.
So that's good. Formulas are good. So let's say, like, obviously, your formula is going to be in the color line you use. Right? But let's say your client's moving somewhere and the color line that you use is not an option. What are you going to put? How are you going to change? Are you going to change the way you write out that formula?
That would be a dick. If I wrote down a color formula with all numbers and someone was like used to a letter system with color formulas.
So, and I think that like the letter system, if you use the letter system, regardless of if you've used it as a hairdresser before, you understand it for the most part.
Right.
For the most part. Like if you say NA, someone's going to know you mean like a natural ash. You
know
what I mean?
It's a universal language.
Or a V, you're going to know they're talking violet. Or a VA, it's going to be ash, but you know, violet ash. You know, even if your color line doesn't use that, you're going to get that. Right. So if that's the case, I will write out my formula in my color line and then I'll write a little note that's like, if you don't use this, basically it's going to be, this is your vibe here, you know?
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like I would write my color formula with the numbers just in case they want to try it.
Right.
Because like the color line is dope. But if you're just like, your salon's not set up that way or like you can't order it or whatever, then this is what it is. Instead of like 6.13, I would say a level 6 ash gold.
Yes.
And then I may, depending on how like educational I'm feeling that day, I may add like 30% ash, 20% gold.
Right.
Just so it's like, because not every color line is built the same. So like an ash gold in our line might not be the same as an ash gold in a different line.
True. Right. Well, and then you know what the other thing is I will say is like I do get into it and like you're saying depending on how educational I'm feeling that day. The truth of the matter is for the most part, I am going to trust that the stylist can figure it out. Because how many times does somebody come to you from a different state and a different stylist and they sit down and they don't have a formula? Guess what? You'll figure it out.
I don't feel like it's been a really long time, at least, since I've had a color formula given to me. Most people come to where we work and they have done their research and they know like everyone's skill level.
Yeah.
So they're just like really trusting, I find.
That's true.
Like all of the new clients that I've gotten since working where we work have just been super trusting. And they're like, yeah,
I know,
I've just read a lot of reviews.
At first. I was like,
what are you talking
don't have
about?
Any input for me at all? Whatever
I want. Really just want me to do that?
For real? Are you fucking with me right now? No.
Right.
No. It did trip me out. I know I mentioned it to you.
Yeah.
But that is true. But it's not like I haven't been handed formulas over my 16 years, you know? So
I definitely have been handed formulas. Have you, this actually happened to someone at our salon.
What?
Have you ever been given a formula and you look at the formula and you look at their hair and you're like, that ain't that.
Oh, yes.
That is definitely not that. I've done a blonde and they wrote down like a level 6 something. Yeah. As a base color. And I was like, she ain't got no base on her. They were trying to screw me over. Yeah. But that's only happened to me once, and it was that. It was a blonde, and it was like level 6 M something.
M.
Mocha or mahogany.
Yeah, either one. Not good for a blonde.
Not good for a blonde. And I was like, honey, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think your hairdresser's being kind of mean to you because this is definitely not what this is.
You told her?
Yeah, I told her.
That is funny.
I mean, what am I going to do? Go back there? I mix that exact same formula, and then she takes that little index card to her next person and says that I said that. No, ma'am.
No, but I mean, I just wouldn't have said, are your hairdressers being mean to you? I would have been like, honey, this ain't that. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you.
Oh, no, I was just like, honey, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I don't know who that was. I'm not speaking to their skill
glad
level.
You are not, that you are here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to their skill level.
I'm not talking crap about them at all, but all I know is they is not doing right by you.
This is not the truth.
Right.
That is hilarious. Oh, man. Okay. So. Do you put in work to find your guest a new salon that uses the brand you use in their new state?
If I know someone there, yeah.
Okay.
Like, if I don't know someone there, I will do a quick search and like on Instagram, brand, state.
Can you search multiple hashtags on Instagram?
You just search words. You don't have to search hashtags. Oh. So like you could say brand, state, and you could even go down to like city and then just search it and then click on the tags and then it'll show all the people there. You don't have to put hashtag brand, hashtag state.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like hashtags on social media are similar to SEOs
like
on
keywords.
Websites. Yeah.
Okay.
So like an SEO is like search engine optimization. So it's like, you may know this, but they may not.
Yeah.
So search engine optimization means like when someone types that word in, if you use that word on your profile at all, or like on your website or whatever, you're going to pop up. And the more you use it, the higher up you go.
Okay.
That's how I built my clientele, purely on social media and the internet.
Hunter, can you teach me social media, please?
Well, if you flip your page to this next outline.
That's why I was like, I want to go over this and read through this before we did this.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so like, I'll just do a quick search like that.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like most of the people that are putting in that much effort into making themselves be seen are like, they want those clients. So I'm like.
Okay, well, I like that because I would probably have I would have searched city stylist Like,
and you come up with like smaller.
Right. Which I talked about that on the moving episode that I like was a guest on. You know what I mean? How you like find another salon or whatever. So that's probably what I would search.
Yeah.
For my client. Yes. While they're sitting there real quick. Ooh, like I keep seeing, similar thoughts. Keep seeing this work pop up. It's good. Oh, look, they use blah, blah, blah line. Like, this is great. And maybe send them a couple pages that I thought were decent.
Yeah. And I'll do like maybe different vibes or stuff like that. But I try not to get too invested in it just because like, we got stuff going on, other stuff
for real.
outside of work. And that can sometimes take up some time because you want to get them someone that's like really good.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just trust them. They found me.
Right.
They'll find somebody else.
They grown.
Yeah. They can read reviews.
Right. Yes. Truth. Very true. Okay. And then lastly, the last question we have on this one, which I would never do this, I don't think. Would you give your contact information to the new stylist that's taking on your guest?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I may follow that stylist on Instagram slyly.
Yeah.
Like, just on the DL, like, I'm following you, but I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm this person's old stylist.
Just to see if you can see their hair pop up.
That and just, like, just follow them because that's where my new client's going. So let's see the work that's going,
I like it.
I don't know. I follow everybody. I don't like try and follow people I know necessarily.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I'm just like, oh, she posts pretty hair. Let's follow her.
Follow her. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
Now
let's say we're moving.
Yeah.
Because that gets a little tricky.
It can get tricky.
It can.
It can get tricky. Not always,
but.
So, first of all, we need to start with, are you moving like across town, local?
Right.
Or are you moving out of state?
Because those are two very different things.
Very different things. So, for the sake of podcasting, let's start with if you're moving across town. You need to move across town.
Right.
First of all, what do?
Read them contracts,
Read your contract.
Because sometimes, like, across town could be 30 minutes away or 20 minutes away. But the way that it's worded in your contract could be radial miles.
Yes.
And so that is, I don't know if you've ever heard of like As the Crow Flies, but that's essentially like if you could pick yourself up and go above all the trees and go straight to this point, that is how they do it. And it's like in a circle. So it ends up being a really large surface area that you can't work in.
Right. Because on streets you're winding and turning.
Yep.
Yeah. So that is important.
Super
to start
important.
There.
And
before
sometimes when you start there, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, this is the part of moving Hunter knows a lot about. I know more about the out-of-state part of this.
And maybe we'll do like an updated lawsuit episode, but because it wasn't as thought out as I would have liked it to have been. But I moved out of state as well. So, and I still got sued.
Right.
So read your contract because that is the most important thing. And sometimes when you ask for your contract, it raises a little bit of suspicion. You know what I mean? So
make sure you have a copy of anything you sign.
Absolutely. In a file, in your home, in a fireproof box.
Right. For real.
I'm just jaded. You don't have to do all that. But you should keep it.
Yeah, and so definitely need to make sure there's no non-compete in there. And then also, let's say, whether there's a non-compete or not, if you're moving across town, somewhere local, most salons aren't going to let you work out
a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, exactly.
I've actually, the only time I've ever been able to work out a 2 weeks notice is when I was moving out of state.
Same.
Yeah, so like I would tell someone, hey, I think I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
This is my 2 weeks notice. And they're like, oh, you can go pack up.
Well, yeah.
Like,
if
it's not necessary.
If you're moving out of, or like in local area again, like, you need to have that shit thought out and prepared and quiet. Unfortunately, that's not, probably salon owners hate me for saying that right now, but as a stylist, that's how it works.
It is. And as someone who aspires to be a salon owner, let's speak from that point. Because that is like my future goal. Yes. I want to own a salon. It's so bizarre to me that salon owners would do that. Maybe because I had it happen to me. But I feel as a salon owner, and what makes a good salon owner is a salon owner who thinks like a stylist. Yeah. And in my opinion, one single person is not going to ruin an entire established business. No. So if you have an established business, I don't understand why it would be that, like, why are you so mad that this person's leaving? And the people who came to the salon because they're loyal to the salon are going to stay at that salon. The salon, yeah. And the people that came to that salon because they're loyal to that person are going to leave when that person goes. But new people will come in. You'll bring in a new stylist. They'll have loyalty. And then it just kind of like replaces itself.
This is true. And I can't remember if I said this on the one actually recorded or not, but I think it's a mindset thing again. Like, I really am starting to like realize that as I come out of like a survival mindset and more into one of abundance, like, you know, right. And it is like, there's a lot of salon owners out there who can be insecure and, you know, maybe they're struggling and this and that and like blah, blah, blah. So like, I look at them with compassion, you know what I mean? But it really is a mindset thing, because when you come across the salon owners that do have a, you know, a mindset of abundance and like sharing and thriving and a thriving culture, and it's healthy and it because they do exist, you know, those are the kind of owners that are going to be like, oh yeah, this is where so-and-so went. Like, just let all our clients know when they call, or like may even have their business cards out or something like that.
So I have a friend of the pod.
Right, friend of the pod.
She's been on before, Alicia Dixon. Follow her on Instagram at Alicia Dixon Hair. Yes. She's a beautiful human. I love her. But so she told me once that if a stylist leaves and they're leaving in town, maybe they're going to work for themselves at a studio or whatever, they will keep at her salon. They kept their cards up front for 30 days.
I love that. I think it's so nice.
If someone came in and they were looking for that person, oh, there's their cell phone number. We don't know anything, but here's their cards.
You know what? And here's the other thing too, is from a client perspective, which I don't know if people even think about this, but I've heard this before. Clients get pissed off when salons won't tell them where the other people went.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And guess what? They're not going to stay there. But if you tell them where the other stylist went, and maybe they go and see them, and then maybe their client, that stylist moves again, or for whatever reason they move back.
Or maybe that location is more inconvenient.
Or whatever. Yeah, you never know. But if you like come at it in a classy way and like, again, offer up that new stylist new information, the client will come back to the original salon because they trust them.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Like, all you got to do is just
put a little trust.
Change the way you think about it. And if you're so worried about your own business, maybe you should be putting more attention into why your own business is not, why you're worried about one person leaving.
Ooh, that just gave me goosies.
No, but for real though.
That's real. Yeah. And like I think it goes to be said, like, we talk about our work a lot.
Yeah.
And I know it may get annoying to some people, but like, other people need to have this experience.
Yes.
And it goes to show that like, we have had zero turnover in over 4 years. And the turnover that we had was because those two bitches were shady. That's all I gotta say.
Right. It doesn't count if they're fired.
It doesn't count. But zero turnover. We hit $1 million this week.
And it's not even December yet.
Right. And everyone's happy to work there. None of us desire to leave at all. And I'm sure if someone left, our owner would have no problem telling someone where they went.
Yeah.
No problem. Because she's all about sharing and like, there is enough people in this world there's too many people in this world. There's so many people that will walk in the doors of your salon. Is it going to hurt you to say appointments available? No, absolutely not. I feel like salons and like the beauty industry has this like, I don't know what word to use. Like they want to feel like they're such a priority. Like, oh, I'm fully booked for the rest of the year.
Trying
and like
to,
sometimes that's true.
Demand,
but they're creating a demand that's not there. Like no one cares. Like if you have appointments open and your salon is good and producing good work, like people are gonna come. Yeah. And then you won't have appointments open.
Exactly. And then you need more people to join your team.
That part.
And then you make more money.
Exactly.
And when everybody's happy, they make you a lot of money. It's like, it is crazy to think about it now. It's like,
how simple of a concept that it is to just make your people happy. The people that are making you money need to
well, and here's the thing. If you
be appreciated.
If you are that way with your culture, like, is there going to be people who weasel their way in there and then 6-9 months in you realize, oh, use a snake, right?
Yep.
That may happen. But the fact of the matter is because everybody else is so happy and good, those people are going to weed themselves out.
Absolutely. And it's when you have a culture of everyone being so happy and like not wanting to leave, those people that are there and that are loyal to you and that are happy working for you are going to let you know.
Yes.
Like I guarantee you if someone bad walked into our salon for like an interview and it's happened, like everyone will be like, oh no. Nope. First impressions are so important.
Well, you know what I heard the other day? Actually, I'm not going to say that, but I'll tell you off air.
I think I know what you heard because I think I was in the same room.
Were you in the room? Well,
I was in the room when it happened.
He said, well, no one's mentioned it yet, so it's not, obviously.
Maybe I didn't hear it.
They're not that excited. Well, I'll tell you later.
Okay. So now that we're talking about owners.
Yeah.
What reactions have you had to telling someone that you're quitting or you're leaving? Because I know that you've most of your career has been like rental. So you probably haven't had a lot of.
Honest, in reality, it's probably about 50-50. And if anything, it might be at this point now. Because I decided after I was rental for a long time, I didn't want to do that shit no more.
Never again.
And I've only looked for commission options since then. But I have had... Okay, well, when I left my first salon, which was a corporate salon, technically I transferred from one salon to the other. And they were like so excited to have me down at the other store. And then I got there and I understood why. And I was only there for like a couple months. And I was like, no. That was the first time I decided.
Mama, can I come back home?
That was the first time I decided I did not. I was like, I'm done with doing hair. Well, Deacon was a baby, and like my whole world was turned upside down. And so I was like, no, I'm done. So I was gonna go back to school, and I ended up getting a job as a receptionist in a salon. And I thought that they were a booth rental salon, and I was new and didn't have any clientele. Turned out they were commissioned. So I did end up eventually like working there, and I worked there for 2 or 3 years. I went off on my own I went off to a different salon, but that they ended up going under. So then meanwhile, I got like divorced while I was there. So I went back to the other salon and she took me back with open arms, you know. And I worked with her again, and then I went out on my own. And when that happened, I was trying to be like sleek about it, but I was running my mouth way too much outside of like, you know, to people. And that's
outside of work.
You know, I learned that lesson hardcore. By that time, she had found out and was like, hey, I need to talk to you. And so I came to the salon and I knew, you know what I mean?
You knew exactly what it was.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's true, you know. So we had a conversation. Just basically, I was like, I mean, I'm trying to be like you someday. Like, I really did used to really want to own my own salon. And, you know, I was like, but I'm not going to do that working here. And I don't, you know.
I'm not going to do that working for you.
For you. Yeah. And so, you know, I was like, whether I feel or not, like, this is kind of something I need to do, you know? And I did it at that time. And surprise, there was a toxic man in Ericka's life.
No comment.
Oh, fuck me. Anyways. But yeah, so there was that. Basically, when she found out, that was that. And then I had a couple reactions with salon owners as an independent person, quitting and moving. But really, none of them were. There was one that was bad, but the owner and she did not like me, and I didn't like her, and it just wasn't a good. Again, Ericka was a mess. Bad time in my life.
I've only had.
So, like, other than that, I've always moved out of state. And so I honestly haven't had problems working out 2-week notices. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or, like, if I'm moving out of state, usually I let the owner of the salon know, like, hey, I'm thinking about this.
Right.
What would it look like if you know what I mean? It may be 4 or 5 months, 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say, whenever I moved out of state, I was nervous. But I knew for like 6 months. I knew for like 4 months. And then I told them about a month out. Because I was like, I didn't want to not have a job and then not have any money to move.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shady on that part, but I didn't know what it was going to look like. Because I had watched people at that salon get fired.
Well, and obviously,
or like not be able to work out the notice.
Yeah, obviously, if I had felt like there was any reason why they would be like,
I don't know why I felt that way.
I'm sorry if I'm moving 3-4 hours away. Like,
right, I'm not gonna drive back here every day. I promise.
You know. Well, and not only that, but none of these clients is coming with me, and I'm gonna set them all up with people here who will be great. Like, you know, that's another part of it too. Is when you're moving out of state and you know that none of your clients are probably going to follow you. I mean, you get, you know, the lucky
There's
one
like
or two,
maybe two.
5 if you're lucky. Like, you know what I mean? Depending on how far you're moving away. But obviously, you know, most of them are going to stay there. So you set them up with people.
Well, whenever I first moved back to Tennessee, I had such a, like, I don't want to say cult following, but I had like a cult following in Cincinnati. Ooh. My clients were like, we were close because
of everything you'd gone through,
of everything that I went through. And it was like, that was a time in my life that I like, it was so overbearing and so stressful that I couldn't leave it at the door. So it was like, every time they would come in, they would hear the update. And so they like it. Every one of my clients in Cincinnati, if you're listening to this, I miss you so much.
He loves you.
But, whenever I first moved back, I had like a good amount of people driving from Cincinnati.
Amazing. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but
about 15 that drove from Cincinnati. A couple of them flew, like the ones that their life was set up that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now I'm down to one.
Aww.
Yeah, but she comes every 6 weeks.
That's awesome.
I don't double book her. I make sure she has the best experience. She is your queen. She is my everything. I bow down to her.
I love that.
But she has a house here in Nashville. So if she ever didn't want to drive back right after her appointment, then she totally doesn't have to.
Yeah. All right, Hunty. Here we are.
All right. And now we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by AdamandEve.com.
Whether you are shopping for yourself or somebody special, Adam and Eve has the perfect gifts and an amazing deal.
At AdamandEve.com, get 50% off and free shipping. That's 50% off an adventurous new toy, a slippery lube, or almost anything else you desire.
Our podcast listeners will get 50% off almost any item. Just use the code BRBPOD at checkout and you'll get 50% off.
But that's not all. You'll also get 3 bonus sexy items and 6 movies for free, plus free shipping.
Doesn't matter what you choose, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free. More pleasure in the bedroom is the gift that keeps on giving. Treat yourself, treat your partner. Life is too short not to enjoy yourself.
So go on over to adamandeve.com, select any one item, and use code BRBPOD.
This offer is exclusive to our podcast, so make sure you're supporting us and use the code BRBPOD at checkout. Not only will you get 50% off, but you're also going to get 3 bonus sexy items, 6 movies, and 100% free shipping with code BRBPOD.
So go to Adam and Eve right now.
Right now.
Right this second.
Do it.
After the podcast is over.
Yeah. You don't want to be distracted while you're listening to this.
Right.
We want your attention.
Full attention. So, and now we're back. It's like we never left.
It's basically like we were here the whole time.
Right. In these exact seats.
In these real seats right here. So, yeah. So, let's just wrap this up, basically.
Yeah.
If you're moving, you're going to give your clients, you're going to get them set up with somebody. You're going to make sure you're not going to get in any legal trouble. Right?
Yep.
Right. And if your client is moving, I think it's the nice thing to do
to just give
as
them
your
a formula.
stylist, to give them a formula, and if there's anything, heads up that your stylist coming into the situation might appreciate, maybe that cowlick that you messed up 3 times before you got it right. Something like that. The hairline, resistant spots, throw that in there. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and with all of that being said, do we have...
I want to know about this iced tea situation because
you've
been talking about it at work, and I don't really know anything about it.
Okay, so Keeping Up with the Chrisleys.
Again,
are you familiar with that show?
I don't have any idea who that is.
No clue. Okay.
Not a clue.
So there is a TV show on, I believe it's on Bravo, like E.
Close the curtain.
Oh, shit. This episode, I'm sorry, it is. We've lost video.
We have a new camera. We're having some technical difficulties.
We're getting used to it. We're getting it together. It will be there.
Getting it together.
Just gotta talk myself through it. Okay, so back to iced tea. So there's this family.
Show on Bravo.
Yes, show on Bravo. They were like quasi Kardashians, but they're not that famous. They're not that rich
are they
either.
And what is their gig?
So Todd Chrisley and Julie Chrisley, they are married. They have children named Chase and Savannah and Lindsay and Grayson, and then they have adopted a granddaughter of a son who is not spoken of on the show. And her name, I don't really know her name. She's small. We probably shouldn't talk about her anyway.
Yes.
But so they have not paid taxes for 20 plus years. First off.
Oh, that's a lot of years.
Right. And so also their whole shtick is Jesus and no lying, no cheating, no stealing. Honesty, all of those things. So not only did they not pay taxes for 20 years on their real estate agents was their thing before reality TV. I don't know if they still are and also record reality TV or what. They have to be because they
are they realtors like Joel and Sheila from Santa Clarita Diet?
Oh, realtors.
Realtors.
But yeah, so not only did they not pay taxes, they hid their reality TV show earnings, millions of dollars. And then they falsified documents during the pandemic to receive $32 million in loans.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to just have a reality show and the IRS isn't going to look for it on your freaking tax return? Well, I guess you're not filing tax returns.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh.
They're not paying taxes. And if they, if they're reporting stuff, they're not reporting it all
accurately. And
then they falsified all of these documents and made it look like they needed $32 million to pay employees or something, I guess. Because it was during the pandemic.
The amount of fraud that happened during the pandemic, like loans is
insane.
It is mind blowing.
Yeah. So Todd had a love affair with a man.
Okay.
And if you watch the show, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
That is a gay man.
That is one gay man right
there. Yeah. And so when I guess maybe Todd cut it off and was like, we're not doing this anymore. Well, that gay man got petty and was like, okay, I'm going to tell everybody. And so he went and like told them that like Todd is hiding all of this stuff.
He blew up his spot.
Yeah. And like it wasn't even a thing like I'm sleeping with Todd. Todd's gay and he's like a Christian man on television telling people to live a Christian lifestyle.
It wasn't about that. It was this man's actually a piece of garbage.
He is like a literal fraud, stealing millions of dollars. So they were in court for a while. And their kids are like older. So Lindsay, I believe, is like probably around your age. She has a kid about Deacon's age. Mm-hmm. Savannah, I think, is 25. Chase is like 24, 23. Mm-hmm. And then Grayson is 16. And he's been on TV since he was like, they've been on TV for 12 years. Mm-hmm. So, and Grayson actually just had a really, like, almost died in a car crash.
Dang.
On 65 here.
Poor kid, man. I feel bad for them reality TV babies. Mm-hmm. I really do.
So, yeah, they live in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And the court was in Atlanta. They're back in Nashville now because they go to jail on the 1st. So after the holidays, they're allowing them to be with their family during the holidays, which I think is kind of bullcrap. Just because it's a white collar crime? Is that what that's called?
I don't know, but yeah, I guess so.
So Todd has to spend 12 years in prison. Julie has 7 years in prison. And the accountant has 3 years in prison. Do I think they need to be in jail? Absolutely. There is a sad part, though. So Todd and Julie had custody of that little girl who was, like, not old enough to take care of herself.
Oh, no.
Not only that, their 16-year-old son is not old enough to take care of himself. Todd's mom is like 90-something, can barely walk. Julie's mom is also that.
Going into the system.
What other option would there be?
They can come live with me. I don't want them to have to go into foster care. That's really sad.
So I don't know about that part, but that is really sad. Like if you think about how it is tearing the family apart, do I feel necessarily bad for Todd and Julie?
No.
Not really, because they did it to themselves. But like, I feel bad for those two kids.
The innocents,
the minors.
Yeah.
That have lived this luxury lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like millionaires, homes all over the country, and then, I mean, maybe they'll go to Lindsay, who is
one of the older siblings.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they wouldn't like my little apartment after their millionaire lifestyle. Maybe they should go live with their sister.
They live in Green Hills. Like their house is like super nice.
Oh, sorry, kids.
Yeah,
they'd be like, put me in foster care. Give me one of them rich families. That's funny.
But yeah. So that's the iced tea.
That's sad.
It is sad for the kids, but
also, at least maybe.
I feel like they're like a super tight family unit, so I feel like the kids will go to good places within the family.
Unfortunately, mom and dad are getting what they deserve, and
right,
they really are.
But they're going to appeal it. They said they're absolutely going to appeal it, but it was a unanimously.
You real guilty.
Yeah, like it was for, I think, what is that called, a jury? So like when the jury has to decide.
Unanimous.
And it was unanimous.
Yeah.
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 Oh, it has to be unanimous.
It has to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay. Well, that's all we got for this episode.
That's all we got. I'm glad we made it through.
Same.
It's been an adventure.
Yes. Okay, so if you'd like to follow us on our social media journeys, I'm at Ericka Hunter on all the things. Our podcast is at Breakroom Banter Pod on all the things, as well as our Patreon is www.patreon.com/Breakroom Banter Pod. That took me a second. I was not confident, but that is
we
it.
Almost gave you that Adam and Eve promo code again.
BRB Pod.
BRB Pod. I'm Ericka the redhead.
On all the things.
Yeah.
And this has been Breakroom Banter.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Bye.
Bye.